Good evening and welcome to ITV News. This is Wednesday night's calendar.
Hello, thank you for joining us. Here's a taste of what's to come on tonight's programme.
Protesters gather in Huddersfield as Kirklees Council faces serious criticism from the Prime Minister as it plans to close care homes and introduce parking charges to balance the budget.
I know they're skint and everything, but I would think it's a backward step, that.
I just think it's sad for the local people and for the little shops. I think, it's sad.
Also on the programme,
I'm at Headingley Stadium where the great and good of Rugby League are coming together to tackle the stigma of brain health.
Blast from the past, the Yorkshire TV talent contestant who's bearing all in the full Monty.
And warm birthday wishes for one of the oldest D-Day veterans in the country on a very special day. Very good evening to you. Now, a furious political row has broken out after the Prime Minister accused a Labour-run council in West Yorkshire, which is trying to fight off the threat of bankruptcy, as being no longer fit for purpose.
Kirklees Council is making 250 staff redundant. Care homes could close, as could leisure centres, and some car parks that are currently free might soon have charges. The authority needs to save £47 million to balance its budget. Tonight, protesters opposing the proposals gathered at Huddersfield Town Hall ahead of a council meeting.
Well, we are live tonight in Huddersfield, where John Hill is on standby for us. But first, to our political correspondent, Charanpreet Kaira, who's in Westminster. And Charanpreet, this was damning criticism of Kirklees Council by Rishi Sunak. What on earth prompted it?
Well, I mean, there's no question that Kirklees Council is in deep trouble, and the cuts that it's making in an attempt to claw back some of that funding shortfall is starting to hurt residents. The MP for Dewsbury, Mark Eastwood, raised that at Prime Minister's questions earlier, and as a Tory MP, he didn't miss the chance to take aim at the Labour-run council.
Kirklees Council have closed Dewsbury Sports Centre and now they want to introduce extortionate car parking charges, punishing hard-working families and destroying the high street in our towns and villages. Would my right honourable friend agree with me that Labour-run Kirklees Council is no longer fit for purpose?
Yeah. Mr Speaker, I share my honourable friend's disappointment with the Labour-run council in Kirklees. They've also closed the Dewsbury Sports Centre and are proposing to increase car parking charges, punishing local businesses and shoppers in the run-up to Christmas. The council is clearly no longer fit for purpose and local residents deserve better.
Well, the Prime Minister's words have provoked an angry reaction from the council. The council leaders said in a statement, with councils across the country facing a £4 billion black hole in their finances, NHS waiting lists at record highs, and a Prime Minister who needs to raid the political graveyard just to find a Foreign Secretary, maybe Rishi Sunak needs to ask himself whether his government is fit for purpose. Strong reaction from the council there, but that's matched by the anger felt by some residents who feel their council is no longer able to do its job.
Well, thank you very much, Charanpreet. That's really interesting.
Yeah, it is. Well, let's go live now to Huddersfield. John Hill is there for us. And John, there's been a protest there this afternoon, hasn't there?
There has, James, and the reason is because at the moment there is a full council meeting of Kirklees Council going on at Huddersfield Town Hall behind me. Have a look at these pictures. This was within the last hour. Around 60 protesters gathered, trying to bring pressure on the councillors, and their principal concern, these protesters, is the threatened closure of 2 specialist nursing homes for people with dementia in Huddersfield and Heckmanwake, but there are also campaigners fighting to save 3 leisure centres threatened with closure. But now there is a new bone of contention as well. Small independent shopkeepers from different towns and villages across the district are concerned, well, that they could face ruin by new proposals to end free parking across Kirklees. I've spent the day in Birstall. In the heart of built-up West Yorkshire, it's the market town with a village feel. But the free parking that has long helped attract customers to Birstall's shops is set to end. From January, as Kirklees Council tries to fill its budget black hole, if you want to park here, you could be facing a bill of £6.50 a day.
Is it Kirklees, isn't it? Well, I know the skint and everything, but you know, I would think it's a backward step. That you've got to keep local communities thriving.
What do you think?
I just think it's sad for the local people and for the little shops. I think, you know, it's sad.
Who's going to pay £1 to come and pick up a bacon sandwich?
Local cafe owner Donna is sad and worried. She chairs the local Chamber of Trade and fears the worst.
Well, it'll just kill off the village. I do not believe people will pay for parking. We're in a cost of living crisis. We're all in the same boat. We've had to put our prices up as it is, and we know people are struggling, so we're already losing footfall because people are struggling. And it'll just kind of be like the final nail in the coffin.
It's not just Birstall. For the first time, drivers in communities such as Lindley, Meltham, Slathwaite, Batley and Cleckheaton will have to pay as well. The council says the charges are appropriate and consistent with the rest of the region.
We haven't raised our Kirklees parking charges for over 14 years. And it's not a decision that has been taken lightly, and I cannot stress that enough, really. And we have to look at parking charges across the borough to see what works and what doesn't work.
If free parking does get the chop, as expected, then for Birstall Butcher Dean, this is a policy that simply won't work.
We see people day in, day out, and most of them as friends, not just customers, and we understand that they're all struggling. Small businesses where having to bear a lot of our extra costs just to keep in business. You bring in parking charges, I really don't know where that leaves us, and it's a worry.
The council is inviting comments on its proposals, but the outlook for those fighting to keep free parking does not look promising.
So, John, a lot of concern there about the potential for parking charges, but the protest taking place actually shows there are lots of issues which are concerning people in Huddersfield, doesn't it?
Yes, particularly at the moment about the care homes. No final decisions will actually be taken at tonight's council meeting, but the protesters who had gathered today, well, they are really concerned that it's heartbreaking for them because their loved ones are in this uncertain position in these specialist dementia homes. We spoke to Donna and Colette. Now, their mum, Elaine, is 79. She has dementia. She's a resident at the Claremont House nursing home in Heckmondwike. And her daughters, well, they simply fear that if the home did close, Elaine simply wouldn't survive the move to somewhere new.
We know that we're on the final chapter of Mum's life now, and we should be spending that time spending it with her, just making her smile, making her laugh. She feels happy and safe where she is. We shouldn't have to be fighting to make sure that she continues to feel happy and safe. We should be able to spend that time with her.
So an anxious time for many families here in Kirklees. No final decisions tonight, as I say, but there will be another protest on Saturday in Batley.
Yeah, we will follow developments. John Hill, thank you.
Well, to more of the day's news now, and a man arrested over the death of ice hockey player Adam Johnson has been released on bail. The 29-year-old died last month after suffering a neck injury while playing for Nottingham Panthers against the Sheffield Steelers. The man, who was arrested by South Yorkshire Police, has been questioned on suspicion of manslaughter.
A jury has been told by the coroner at the Gracie Spinks inquest that they should conclude she was unlawfully killed by Michael Sellers. Gracie was found injured in her horse's field near Chesterfield in 2021. Jurors have been asked to rule that the 23-year-old was stabbed by her former colleague who she'd accused of stalking her. The jury's now been sent out to begin its deliberations.
Yes, and we'll bring you an update on that as and when we get it. Now, thank you to everyone who got in touch over the story that we were covering yesterday. It was about the families fighting for a national inquiry into the deaths of babies while in the care of NHS maternity services.
Well, unfortunately, if you were watching last night, we lost the sound on that report. Many of you sent us messages saying you would like another chance to see it, so you shall.
Yes, and it's such an important issue with parents who've experienced the heartache of not only losing a child, but also having to come to terms with the fact that it could have been prevented.
One of those who's been sharing her story is a woman from Barnsley whose daughter was stillborn last year after a string of medical errors. She's been speaking to Jonathan Brown.
I've got lots of photos, I've got hand and footprints,
got her clothes that she wore in that time. And she was just beautiful. She was amazing.
This box of memories for Emily is a reminder of what was and what could have been. That's because her daughter Beatrice was stillborn at 41 weeks.
She was incredible. She was just perfect. Best moment of my life and the worst one as well.
An independent review of Beatrice's birth later highlighted errors at Barnsley Hospital's maternity ward, including how staff mistakenly monitored Emily's own heartbeat instead of the baby's, delaying what could have been life-saving intervention.
I was immediately told sometimes things like this happen and it's nobody's fault. Which is not true. Babies, full-term healthy babies don't just die in labour. That's not what happens.
She's helped to launch the Maternity Safety Alliance, bringing together more than 500 bereaved parents in calling on the Health Secretary to order a national inquiry into maternity services.
That really makes me cry.
Fiona and Dan are part of that campaign. They're backing it in memory of their daughter, Aliona, who died 3 years ago.
Our whole lives had just been ruined in the blink of an eye.
Aliona was alive for just 27 minutes. An inquest ruled that she died after neglect by midwives at Leeds General Infirmary. The trust running the hospital said it was very sorry for the care it provided and has since put 7 improvement recommendations into action.
We could just get another 5 years down the line and more of these have happened, and at that point the government will mandate a change. They will force a public inquiry. Don't wait for that to happen. Have a public inquiry now that looks at a whole systems analysis and saves babies' lives now.
Those calls have been backed by medical negligence lawyers who say they see the same issues crop up at different health trusts time and time again.
Is the minority of what happens, and there is some really good maternity care out there, but tell that to the parents who have not come home with their babies. There just doesn't seem to be the communication between the trusts and that shared learning on such a national scale that it should be.
In a statement, a Department of Health and Social Care spokesperson said, nationally we have invested £165 million a year since 2021 to grow the maternity workforce and improve neonatal services, and we are promoting careers in midwifery by increasing training places by up to 3,650 over the past 4 years. Barnsley Hospital bosses apologised for the care Beatrice was provided, adding that her death should never have happened and that changes have been made. But Emily says that should be just the start.
It's not enough to focus on just one hospital. It's the whole system. We know that this is what's needed and these babies are just too precious to let it go.
Emily says being Beatrice's mum means standing up for others and creating a legacy from her loss. As parents try to leave a mark on the healthcare system they hope their children would be proud of. Jonathan Brown, ITV News.
And thank you to Emily, Fiona and Dan for sharing their experiences with us. There is more on this story and details of where to find support on our website. Just go to itv.com/calendar. That's itv.com/calendar.
Now, still to come.
Be a lady tonight.
We catch up with the former Yorkshire TV talent contestant who's going the full Monty in Bradford.
And the topsy-turvy weather forecast continues for the rest of the week and into the weekend. All the detail a little later on.
Thank you, Kerry. Now, some of the biggest names in Rugby League are gathering at Headingley this evening to raise money and awareness of brain health within the sport.
The Rugby League Cares Brain Health Fund offers support and education and also helps current and former players with issues caused by neurodegenerative illnesses such as dementia and Alzheimer's.
Arif Ahmed is live for us at Headingley ahead of the very glitzy event by the looks of it. Arif, this is putting an important cause right into the spotlight, isn't it?
It is indeed, Lara. Welcome to Headingley Season. As you say, just have a look at the Howard Suite here. It just looks absolutely splendid this evening. It's all to welcome the great and good of Rugby League this evening. All here to highlight an important cause, one that doesn't get spoken about too much, does it? Brain health. And one man driving that change is Kevin Sinfield, the trustee of Rugby League Cares, who joins me. Kevin, great to see you this evening. How important is it that players present learn about brain health as much as they do their physical health?
Yeah, I think it's really important. I think what Rugby League has tried to do over several years now is educate players in the best possible way, so that when you finish playing and what happens in later life, you're in a much better position to carry on and live a normal life. So we understand you only get one brain. We understand how important it is to look after it. There's certainly a lot of research out there currently around concussions, and I think Rugby League's at the forefront of that and trying to make the game as safe as it can.
Did you have anything like this when you were a player?
Oh, we've always had education. I think that has got better as the research has taken place. There's a lot of studies out there at the minute on concussion and ways to mitigate certain factors as we get older, because as we get older, right, things start going wrong, and we understand that from playing rugby there could be other parts of your body that come under some wear and tear, but certainly your brain, we got to look after it. We know there are some environmental factors that we can do as players or ex-players to make sure that we try and live the best life possible after playing. But yeah,
it's important to look after not just current players but ex-players as well, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's what tonight's about. It's about raising funds for those who've gone before us, who need some support and who need some access to scans and specialists. It's for current players, and it's for those who come way after those who are juniors now, and both boys and girls who want to play our great game and have a great future.
Kevin, thanks so much for joining us. I hope it's a great night for you and everyone involved. But it's clear here, everyone involved here just wants to see a safer game.
Exactly. Thank you very much, Arif. Good to hear from Kevin Sinfield as well. Now, flood-hit residents in Chesterfield are angry that the Environment Agency won't be able to protect as many homes across the country from flooding as it had previously promised. In the wake of Storm Babette, a report from the National Audit Office has warned that increased costs means that 40% of properties will no longer be safeguarded in the future. 500 new flood defence projects have also been abandoned. Alex Rossi is now living in a caravan outside her Chesterfield home, which was also flooded in 2007.
It makes me angry because, it's like we don't matter. That's how it makes us feel. We don't matter. It's all right. Your house is flooded, I'm nice and warm, and that's how I feel that people, other people think, especially, authorities.
Well, the Environment Agency have told us that they're now in the third year of the current investment programme and have invested more than £1.5 billion to better protect more than 60,000 homes and businesses. More than 100,000 properties were protected from flooding during the recent storms. They say they will consider the recommendations of this report as they continue to protect hundreds of thousands of homes across the country.
Yes, and from talking about storms to looking ahead to what the weather's going to do this week, joining us now is Kerry.
Hopefully no storms.
Yeah, and we have not had the best of days though, have we?
Yeah, no named storms currently towards the weekend. It is looking unsettled, but yes, you're right. Right old mixture across the region today. I'll just show you a snapshot just before we said goodbye to the sunshine. We've had a weather front basically that's been coming in from the northwest, and it's been straddling parts of North and East Yorkshire over the last hour or so, and down the Pennines for pretty much most of the day. It has showered on and off, but you can see some breaks there, so we've had a real contrast in weather photos. This was from Gary Hornby, looking out towards what looks like a lake, but of course it's the flooded Derwent at Stamford Bridge. With a fungal foreground there. A big thank you to Gary for sharing. So yeah, really unsettled conditions. We don't need any more rain, to be honest. And this was Keppel's Column in Wentworth Woodhouse Park, one of 7 follies there. It was built in the 1700s but restored or restorated in 2020, looking very magnificent against the blue sky. But yeah, really topsy-turvy, and this unchangeable and settled weather is going to continue all the way through to the weekend. Why have we got it at the moment? Well, this is a snapshot from yesterday. A really big contrast in temperatures Over Scandinavia, minus 32.2 in the day yesterday, and almost a record or provisional record for southern Spain, 33.2. That's plus 33.2, and it's that contrast that's basically pepping up the jet stream, and of course our weather coming from the jet stream, or enhanced by the jet stream in the west as we head into the next couple of days or so. So that's the jet stream as we head towards Saturday. I'll play it again and show you the low pressures. So on and off, we've got low pressure coming in over the next few days. So at times, not constantly, there will be wet and windy spells. So it's not great news, but we're not looking at anything intense at this stage. But yeah, the weekend's not looking great, to be honest, and I'll have a bit more detail, of course, later on in the programme. So we're bringing the joy.
Oh, wow.
20 bottlenosed dolphins spotted by Beverley Centre yesterday with their young feeding along Marine Drive in Scarborough. A big thank you for sharing. Oh, they look like they're having a good time. I absolutely love it. And also, just to say that we've had some ducklings in November. So if anyone's seen the ducklings in November, really unusual. They're also probably a little bit discombobulated by the weather at the moment.
Just a bit fluffy ducklings. We love those.
Yeah.
Kerry, thanks. We'll be back with your forecast in a short while.
Yeah. Now, just a wee bit of sports news, and the former England cricket captain Andrew Flintoff has been appointed as the new head coach of the Leeds-based Northern Superchargers. The 45-year-old returned to cricket in September. That was after a nasty crash whilst filming Top Gear left him hospitalised. This will be the first head coach role for Freddie and replaces James Foster, who left the 100 franchise last week.
Now to the story of a career in showbiz that started right here in our studios back in the 1990s. That's when a young man called Neil Hurst from Halifax appeared as a contestant in a Yorkshire TV show called The Tonight Talent of Tomorrow.
Yeah, do you remember it? Well, he's done very well for himself since then, and we've discovered he's appearing at the Bradford Alhambra in the touring production of The Full Monty with Scunthorpe's very own Jake Quickenden. So we needed no excuse to delve into the Yorkshire TV archive and find that original footage. And we sent Fraser Maud for a catch-up with the talent of tomorrow.
Yeah, it's hard to believe it's 26 years since The Full Monty was on our screens. The stage play's been on the go for about 10 years or so. It's all been written, of course, by local lad, Keighley lad Simon Beaufoy, who was Oscar nominated for the screenplay for the film, and lots of awards for the stage play as well. And I've got two of the stars here. We've got Neil Hurst,
Hello.
Jake Quickenden. Neil, let's have a chat with you first. What's it like being in The Full Monty here in Yorkshire?
Well, it's wonderful. I mean, where else would you get to go on stage, entertain an audience, and have all them women cheering at you?
I'm going to embarrass you now.
Oh, what? Even
In
more?
a different way.
In a different way. All right.
Got some
You do
footage
that.
here. This is back in 1997 when The Full Monty first came out. This is footage of you on tonight's Talent for Tomorrow.
Oh, gosh.
Here we go. What do we make of this?
Look, be a lady tonight. Yeah.
Now all I'm thinking is, haven't I got fat and started going bald?
Still got that persona though. Still got that
Exactly.
stage talent. Gareth Gates won that competition the year after you were in it.
Yeah.
You were in Panto with him last year.
Yeah, me and Gareth, great pals. Yeah, I did Panto with him last year. And Panto again this Christmas.
Did you win that?
I came second. Oh, never mind.
Story
never
of my
mind.
life, mate.
Well, you can really see how well you all get on.
It didn't take long at all, did it?
No.
It was literally a few days, and we just felt so comfortable with each other. And I think that's the beauty of the show, that we are as close in real life as we are on stage. So it just helps that dynamic, and it's just a great, fun, happy show. It's been a tough few years with COVID and lockdowns, and finally the theatres are kind of running again, and we just want to put a great show on, don't we? And we all get on, and it's a laugh.
You'll be an all-star tonight, that's
Thank
for sure.
you,
Hopefully the laughter will be for the right reasons when the big reveal happens.
He usually gets laughter with these trousers. I mean, look at them.
They're special.
They are very nice. And like,
So you're here until Saturday.
We are, yeah. And we honestly, it's great to be in Yorkshire with this, obviously, because it's a Yorkshire
It's
story.
home. I'm
isn't it?
stopping at my mum's.
There you go.
I'm driving back to Scunny every night.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
I'm going
Nice
to drive
one.
back.
And I'm at home as well, so it's bliss.
Perfect. The perfect place, the perfect venue,
Yeah.
a Yorkshire home for a Yorkshire-based play, which
Yeah.
couldn't be better. It's on till Saturday. Get yourself down here and you can see these two gentlemen in all their glory.
Oh, good luck to Jake and Neil.
Yeah, Jake gets to stay at home with his mum. How brilliant is that?
It's brilliant.
Yeah, really.
Let's catch up with Kerry now with the weather.
Good visibility on the horizon. TIRI sponsors ITV Yorkshire Weather.
Thank you. Hello again. Yes, a little bit up and down over the next few days, quite unsettled. Friday still looking like the best day of the week in terms of drier and clearer conditions. Beautiful autumn colour though continues across the region. Keep those photos coming, weather photos at itv.com. So today we started off quite showery over the Pennines, quite a bit of cloud for us, northern parts of the region during the course of today, but we did see some thinning and breaking of the cloud at times and some sunshine coming through. And that's pretty much the case as we head through into the night. The winds ease, the showers fade, then some clear spells, but then we see a little bit more cloud developing as we head towards dawn. So under those clearer pockets in rural parts, low single figures, but for most of us, certainly towns and cities, similar to last night, 5 to 9 Celsius. As we head into tomorrow, 7:34 and 4:07 are your sun times as we head into Thursday. Tomorrow, quite a bit going on. We've got a southeasterly off the North Sea, so it will drag in a few showers initially. Then we've got a northwesterly, which creates what we call a convergence line. So where we get the showers, they could merge to longer spells of rain and last for quite a while, even all the way through into the evening. But either side, especially out towards the coast, maybe drier and clearer conditions as we head into tomorrow. But disappointing in terms of settled weather as we head through into Thursday. Friday is a different story. Once we've got the showers out of the way, it's dry and it's clear across most parts as we head into Friday. It will feel chilly, highs of 8 or 9, and following that, quite a chilly night, certainly a rural frost. But you can see waiting in the southwest, more unsettled weather to come. Wet and windy spell on Saturday after a chilly start, and then followed by showers for Sunday.
TIRI sponsors ITV Yorkshire Weather.
Well, finally, just enough time to wish a very happy birthday to a D-Day veteran from South Yorkshire who's turned 104 today.
Oh yes, he was born in 1919, just after the First World War. Fred Adamson was thrown a lovely birthday party at his home in Doncaster, and having had a visit from the council's Armed Forces champion, he was surrounded by cards from friends and family, including a great-great-grandchild.
Oh wow, he's having a great party, isn't he?
It's amazing. Happy birthday, Fred. That's
104.
Yeah.
Can you believe it? I don't think I'll last that long. That's all for now. Thanks very much for your company, and we will see you at the same time tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.